you, thank you.
Thank you.
So many stairs and heels. What do we do? I don't know.
Do we ask you questions? Oh, hi.
Hi. Jeannie Wolf.
Yes,
In so
legend.
in so many instances tonight, people have talked about the specific being universal. This world that you guys may have thought was specific and people may have wondered would they understand this culture has just hit people in the heart. Did you ever fear whether that would happen? And at what point did you know it's catching on? They get it, they get it, they get it. And then after that, I want Tony to answer. He's getting raves on Broadway. Are you the luckiest man or what? But first, let's find out. All right.
I think that we always knew that the character of Midge should be a character that would appeal to girls of today, and that they should be able to look at her not just like, that was my grandmother, but like, that is me. So we wanted her journey and her trials and tribulations to feel universal in the idea of like having one life and having it pulled away from you and having to suddenly like find out who you are and what your voice is. Those are very universal themes. I think that as things got weirder and creepier in the sexual predator realm, it became sort of apparent that the whole idea of a truly confident female taking charge of her life when the male in her life walked out and left, I think it took on an extra meaning, and it became something even a little bit more because she did it without tears and without fear and without, I don't know if I'm just be at home. Like, she didn't do that. She just sort of, burned the barn down and walked out. So in a weird way, it became more relevant as the tenor became more uneasy in the town.
Yeah, it's also about a family, so if you make that real, you don't have to be a Jewish family to relate to this Jewish family. I think any religion or atheist family could relate to the dynamics between all these people.
Yom Kippur is a mystery, but other than that, they'll be able to figure out everything else.
And Tony is in the band's visit.
If you haven't seen the band's visit, you must go see the band's visit. It's the greatest thing on Broadway right now. There is nothing that can touch it.
In fact, Amy and I are going to sing a song from it right now.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
No,
we're not going to do that.
Come to New York now and see it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm having the time of my life. It's just an embarrassment of riches. I'm playing, in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I play a Jewish character, and in the Broadway musical, I play an Egyptian character. So I've got all bases covered. And
You could solve it.
I really could. I really could. So it's a really, really fertile time, and both of these stories, the series and the musical, it's just the timing just couldn't be better. I feel like what's going on in our country right now, what's going on in our industry right now, both of these stories are a kind of a respite from all of that, and there's a chance for people to just sort of breathe a sigh of relief and feel that maybe there is some hope. And we're in a big transitional time, and both of these pieces reflect that.
It's more than just love. What gets you ready for love? What attracts love?
Well, I have good people in my corner. I mean, Amy and Dan called me about this project and sort of just laid it in my lap, and I be forever grateful to them. And it's all timing. I'm just so fortunate. That's how I feel.
Tony's also the loveliest man on the planet.
Oh yeah, and I'm the loveliest man on the planet.
He keeps forgetting that.
I keep forgetting to.
You gotta work that in.
Congratulations to you all, Amy and Dan. You have been doing this a while, and awards are a very silly part of this business, but they're also a certain amount of recognition. You've done no shortage of critically beloved shows, but you haven't been up on stage very often. How does it feel?
Unique,
it was
extremely
quite,
unique.
quite harrowing. It was, you know, it was.
Barbara Streisand was in the front row.
I
and
missed staring
we
at
had
Barbara
her.
Streisand. How
I saw her.
can't believe I. Anyhow, sorry.
It was very nerve-wracking.
I think that it, you know, the great thing about awards, quite frankly, is it makes the people who are investing in your show feel like their money has been well spent, and that is very important. Believe me, that something like this show that, you know, it's our. We don't know if anyone's going to watch this. We only do what we like. To know that it has gone sort of bigger and farther out there is really great. It's really great. It's interesting because with Gilmore it took sort of a long time, and this sort of like shot out of the cannon kind of fast and quick. And we're just very lucky to have still have a job at this point.
Over
in our
here to
lives.
far left. Oh, over here to far left. I'm David from Israel, Mazel Tov. I just wanted to ask about the whole Jewish American aspect of New York in that show, and can we get the Maisels to come to the Holy Land, maybe?
Maybe.
Why not?
Well, you know, my father was a comic. He worked the Borscht Belt, and he worked, you know, the Catskills and the clubs downtown, and hung, you know, and toured with Dinah Washington and Johnny Mathis. So I was sort of raised with that, you know, it was like, it was Broadway Danny Rose every day in my house. And I think when you grow up with that, you feel like Jews invented comedy, basically. And when you go back to the 1950s, especially when that voice was so prevalent, it's not just a Jewish voice almost, it's like a New York voice. It's an attitude, it's a way of acting, it's a way of looking at the world, it's a way of eating. It felt like sort of the most fun thing we could possibly do at this moment. And every table read has like black and white cookies and, you know, matzo ball soup. So what's better?
Katz's Deli.
Katz's Deli. I don't know, what was the second one?
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. We're going to get off the stage.
Thanks, everybody.
More stairs.